Hey everyone, my name's Helen Knight. I'm the founder of Creative Business Brain, and today we're going to be interviewing another fantastic client, Clint Baker, who is actually an animator and has an amazing animation studio. So we are going to interview him today and just quiz him about the program and how he got on.
We've been in business for 26 years, 25 years,
Yeah.
and we're always looking for ways to keep the blood flowing through, which is to meet new clients and get better at like what is it that we want to work on.
Mm.
And so we've been, I think for the probably for the first 10 or 15 years, we really didn't do anything. We just thought, oh, this is just manna from heaven and we just have to pick it up.
Yeah.
And that has been largely true for us. But then we realized as we went on, we really want certain kind of work more than other. We'll take, we can make almost anything work.
Mm.
And so so over the years, we've just tried different things. And so we never know what's going to work, but we try to stay open because the landscape is always changing.
Mm.
And so we were trying LinkedIn and a bit begrudgingly because I think I've since changed my thinking on, or I've since changed my habits on social media. I always saw the usefulness of it, but just
Yeah.
had never cultivated the habits,
Yeah, that's
to
what it's all about. Yeah,
use it.
definitely.
Yeah. As a
Definitely.
tool and not as a reflection on like it didn't matter. It was just a tool as opposed to just being like, I don't really like hammers. It doesn't matter if you like a hammer or not. A hammer is to nail a nail. So if you need to nail a nail, use a hammer. And
Yeah,
so,
that's
yeah,
it. And it's so true because I do get people sometimes when I meet them for the first time, and often they do say things like that. But I don't really like social media, and I'm thinking, I think you will like it once you start getting some of those big projects coming in. It's start to see it in a whole different way, don't you?
yeah, you do. You really do. And that's helped in other ways too. Like it's helped
Mm.
with LinkedIn, but it's helped with and also too on that note, like not being so precious about videoing myself or about putting a message. I'm being thoughtful about what the message is going to be,
Yeah.
but knowing that you sometimes you just have to put the car and drive. You can't like overthink so much and say, okay, I'm going to release a social post and it's not going to be perfect. And it's like you learn as you go.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
then I think that was a big pressure for us. I think that's easier to do maybe as you go. Okay, that worked well, that didn't work well, and that's really helped us on all social media platforms.
Yeah.
Just be more ourselves and not to be so overly concerned about curating, or at least recognizing that people want to know who we are or people are interested in us because of our personality and to
Yeah.
be willing to show that personality and willing to be vulnerable in that way has been really helpful because that's what attracts people. That's we're attracted to each other as human beings to talk to people and you want to show that.
Mm.
And working with you has really helped me be comfortable with that and
Oh,
say,
good.
"Oh, okay. It's okay to be yourself in that way." You
Yeah.
know?
Oh,
Yeah.
brilliant. That's good to hear. Yeah. Yeah, and so many people just worry too much about what everyone thinks and then it stops them really being them true selves and being really able to communicate in the right way and to actually be
Yeah.
of help to others because of that. So yeah, it's
So
important to get that out of the way.
that is so true. The timing of this, of working with you, I was going through that in my life as a husband and as a father and as an elder and in so many ways. Like I was realizing, like if you're so concerned about what people think of you, or if you're so concerned about people liking you, you can't really love people because you're so concerned about, okay, I need to say the right thing here. I need to make sure this person likes me. You're not listening to them. You're just trying to angle how to get there into their good graces,
Yeah.
as opposed to being like, okay, honestly, I'm not putting your stability within whether or not somebody does or does not like you and not assuming that they do or do not like you.
Mm.
That's a really difficult thing for somebody who's curated that their whole life.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I think everyone
Tough.
goes through it, don't they? I think everyone goes through it at some stage. And
Yeah.
yeah, but it's good to be aware of it and recognize it. And it's great you've managed to get over that side of things. And that's obviously showing. So that's amazing. Well done.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what other things did you find as a real block and like a frustration before you got going, or when you started to get going with what we do together and on the program? And what were the things that you really got stuck on initially, and then you thought, oh, actually, it's not anywhere near as hard as I thought it was? Or, yeah, are there any kind of times
Yeah.
where you thought, yeah, it was much clearer once we'd been working on some of those things?
I think the thing that stood out to me the most and still does is just the simplicity. It's the simplicity of it is it takes a while for the simplicity to sink in. And that's not the first time that's happened to me. I know I was exposed to learning the rudiments of logic or logical fallacies back. I was in my like early 40s. And I was like, why have I never heard of this? But it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And someone said that's because that's the way the human mind works. You're getting categories for it now.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, okay, I guess that makes sense. And it just took so long for me to go, okay, if you take a logical fallacy, whatever it is, like the fallacy of the majority, I'm like, oh, I knew that,
Yeah.
but I didn't really have a category for it, or I didn't know how to use it, or I didn't know how to recognize it, but I intrinsically knew it, but I
Yeah.
didn't know that I knew it. And that's what this felt like a lot. Some of the times where it was just, oh, yeah, that makes sense. And that's simple. But then you're like, well, I don't know how to switch that on. So you have to, even though a lot of the curriculum in this was like simple, it was like difficult to because it was so simple. Not hard in an impossible way, but just
No,
hard in a like this
just
should
think.
be
Just thinking in a new way, isn't it? It's like
it's
getting out of
just
the old habits,
yeah.
stopping doing the things that aren't working. It's so easy just to keep doing the things that aren't working, isn't it? It's so easy to do that. But you've got to there's got to be a point where you go, no, I'm not doing that anymore. That doesn't work very well, and I'm wasting so much time. I need to start thinking about this in a new way and start doing new things. And yeah, it's a fight against yourself. That's what it is. It's like an internal fight.
I guess that's what a habit feels. I guess it's what a thinking
Yeah.
habit feels like. Like you think
Mm.
because I know when I've run into you realize I remember when I first understood how important definition of terms were and how dangerous assumptions are. And once you see how dangerous assumptions are, just speaking in other terms, you realize it and you just see it everywhere. And you're like, oh my gosh, I assume so much. And it changes your conversation then, and you can really listen better. And that's what working with you reminded me of was
Yeah.
that there's that surface level stuff that's going on, but then there's a whole deeper level stuff and they feed into each other. It
Hmm.
seems.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you can't do
Yeah.
one without the other.
No, you cannot do one without the other. It's like I remember like I had to go to a physical therapist and she's probably is probably the best physical therapist I've ever seen. I had thrown my back out, had a ruptured disc.
Oh gosh.
And I was like, yeah, no, it was like, and I didn't have to do any surgery or any drugs or anything. I was able to get out of it through physical therapy and coaching.
Mm.
And I said to her, I think like maybe 70% of what you do is psychological and
Mm.
30% is like the mechanical, physical detective work. And
Yeah.
she was like, yeah, that's probably about right
Yeah.
because getting better, even though it was a mechanical thing, it was like it was so critical to psychologically know, no, you don't have a bad back. You just have these muscles that need to kick in and you need to train them how to do that. And
Okay.
it felt so like that. I like what you're saying. I just don't believe what you're saying. And I want to believe what you're saying.
Oh, bless her. I
Yeah, I
bet
know.
she loves
Uh,
you.
Because you're told so much, you're like, you have to be cut open, or you have to take this drug, or you have to do this, and you're like, okay, I don't, okay, if that's what you're telling me I have to do. And I think we're trained in that way so much, not to look at these other ways of saying, wait, this is a non-destructive method, but
Yeah.
it's not, but it's unorthodox for our time.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's what it reminds me of working with you. It's like,
Mm.
I feel like sometimes it's like, I feel like you uncovered some ancient secret that we just all forgot. How did we forget that? You know?
That's amazing. I think that's probably one of the best quotes ever. I'm going to use that. Oh, so if I asked you to compare when, like, when you first started or when we first met to now, can you compare how you felt then and like how you feel now?
It really made a big difference. In some ways, I kind of have some funny shame about saying this because I don't like to admit this, but it made me more confident because I feel like I was like, oh no, I'm confident. I've been doing this for a long time. I don't really need anybody to teach me how to be confident. That usurped my confidence, right? But it did. It made me more confident in because I think because I understood maybe it's because I understood the underlying structure of what confidence should be, and this helped me see that. And it was like there was a couple of things. There was one thing that really stood out to me. I remember I was sharing with you some ways that I was talking to people, and the words you used were really good, but it was like a nice coach. It was like a typical coaching wake up thing where you're like, oh, wait, I've got some weight on the bar. I'm doing good. And the coach is like, you could do more weight. And so it was like this criticism, but like this confidence building criticism
Mm.
and you were like, yeah, don't be too desperate or don't be, I forgot the words that you used, but it was something like that. And I was like, oh, I am. Yeah, I am coming out. This isn't exuding the kind of confidence that would make me want to use this person as a service or as a designer or something. And I need to speak to that and do that. And it was just nice to have that moment of a perfect coaching moment, right? Oh, you can do more.
Yeah,
Don't be afraid. You can do more and help me get out of that.
yeah,
Because I think it's funny. I think the thing that gets us into over curating ourselves is the same thing that can get us out, which is we listen to too many people and we don't consider the fact that it may be that everybody's coming from a broken source, meaning like everybody's measuring stick is broken. And we have to remember that people can give us good, wise advice, but we're measuring with our own broken measuring sticks. When you have a good coach that's telling you, that's saying, look, this is a tried and true measuring stick. This has like scientific method behind it. We've tried it. And I'm using this to tell you, you can put more weight on the bar.
mm,
And it's like you go, oh, okay. So the very thing that kind of gets us into trouble by listening to too many people can get us out of trouble if we listen to the right people saying the right
yeah.
thing.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really true because everyone's got their own biases and often they're just so unaware of them as well. So it's two people really hitting a wall, but without being aware enough of certain things, yeah, you can just keep butting your head against the wall, but you've got to
Yeah.
start recognizing where you need to change and where you need to improve and where you need to evolve. And yeah, most people do forget their own worth and their own value when they've been doing something for a long time, and it comes up over and over again. It doesn't matter what level of business that I work with, big companies as well, they forget what they do has a massive impact on that client. And without them and without their expertise, they would really not be at the level that they can be. Yeah, it's just so important to recognize, isn't it?
Yeah.
And is there any other things that you can remember? Like, I know you were frustrated a little bit when we first met, I think, because you'd been doing email or something.
We went through the email gold rush.
Yeah.
We were like we hit a gold vein of email. As soon as it started, we were like, oh, this is we're going to do this forever. We were getting too many meetings. We literally were like we had hired a company and they were great, and it was just like you have got to stop making meetings for us because this is too much. And the people we were meeting with were like, I was talking about it yesterday to my son. I was like, it was crazy who we were meeting. I don't even know what we do to I want to work with you, but we were just like punching way above our weight, it felt like in a lot of places. So yeah, we were just living in this kind of this place of like just ease and getting meetings, and then all of a sudden it just stopped. Like it was just
Wow.
gone. And
Wow.
we were like, oh, what did we do? And it's like who knows what the trend was, but it reverberated through all of our industry and maybe all industries, I don't know, but the people that we were hiring to help us with this were like, yeah, this is an issue now. And we're
Oh,
like,
no.
oh, that's really weird.
Oh gosh.
So they switched over to LinkedIn. And that's where they were
Oh,
like, okay, now the things, no, nobody's doing email anymore. And everybody's doing LinkedIn. And we were like, okay, let's go to LinkedIn. And that's where I met you.
yeah,
So
yeah. Oh, it's crazy, guys. I've never been really into doing a lot of email. I never really just to keep in touch with people, but not to just sell to people through email. And a lot of people do still recommend that. And I think it's just a lot harder these days because there's so many people just spamming people. Like people just start to ignore it all, don't they? I barely look at my emails to be honest for that reason. So I always say to people, don't
yeah,
email me, just talk to me on WhatsApp because yeah, it's just crazy, isn't it?
it is. Yeah, I was surprised. If an artist sends me their work, and I like it, if it's a visual and I see it and I'm like, oh wow, I really like this, I will contact them
Yeah.
pretty quickly. But good luck getting through all of the spam and the junk
Yeah.
and everything else in email.
Yeah, it's yeah, tough I think. But I
Yeah.
think so how did you feel once you started getting going with LinkedIn? Obviously you started doing some content, started doing some videos, which is great.
Yeah, yeah. It felt good. It felt more natural.
Mm.
I think that I had to find my voice on LinkedIn. I think there was my sons call it humble bragging on LinkedIn, and they're like, yeah, there's a lot of humble bragging on the LinkedIn, and I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that is what that kind of is.
Yeah.
But that's what I had to get used. Like, where do I fit in that? Because
Mm.
sharing on Instagram and sharing on LinkedIn are two completely different things, and
Yeah.
especially working with you, we're working to hone down. You want to really hone down who you're talking to, so forth and so on. And it's yes, that personality, the uniqueness of who we are is really important, and make sure that you're talking to a specific person. And that was something I don't do at all if I'm sharing on social anywhere else. And that's a totally different discipline. So here's the funny thing. I feel like that the changes in thinking were an approach. This I was going in thinking like, oh, okay, cool. I'm going to learn how to use LinkedIn as a tool, which you do,
Mm.
but that's almost superficial compared to the depth of change that I experienced. It's like, in fact, I think I've in some ways, like, conversationally with my clients on Zoom or in email, my conversation structure has changed
Yeah.
and I'm looking for different things now. So
Yeah.
LinkedIn is cool. It's a great tool and everything, but it is not by any means, this is where I went in thinking like, oh, cool, this is a how to use LinkedIn kind of situation. This is much deeper than that. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. And it does, we've got clients as well that use Instagram and do really well on there as well. So it does work on both platforms. It works on any platform really, as long as you can post content. But it's great that you recognise that. And yeah, it's great that you started to recognise that there are other things involved. It's not just about posting, it's not just about getting yourself out there. There's a lot of things that people like, you've got to think about things in the right way, you've got to understand how to communicate across the board in different ways and how to communicate a lot better with the potential clients and your clients so that
Yeah.
they really see you as an investment. If you're not seen as an investment, it's really hard, isn't it? It's a really tough game if you're not seen as something really unique and special in the market. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think personality to that, I think a lot of times, obviously, clients want to know that you can solve their problem, but the truth is that I think anyway, that a lot of times you get chosen because of your personality and ease of, do you seem like you're fun, especially with what we do, you think seem like you're fun to work with?
Yeah.
And because this is an important part of their life that they're spending all day doing, the last thing they want is to create unwanted drama and weightiness. They want this to be like an enjoyable process of whatever problem we're solving. And we want that too. And
Mm.
I think that Oscar Wilde said life is too important to be taken seriously. And I think that's like our personality is like, yeah, we know that this has weight, what you're doing, and we want to solve your problem, but we also want to keep it in perspective with you and know that this project is part of our life and we want this to be enjoyable.
Yeah.
And I think I would choose someone for that reason.
Definitely. Yeah.
If I see someone who's two people that are both, yeah, they're both good animators or they're both good artists, and I can use both of them, I'm gonna pick the one I like better.
Yeah. Of
Right.
course.
Right.
Yeah, everybody works for themselves to enjoy their work and to do what they want and to have freedom. And there's lots of benefits of having your own business. And yeah, part of it is meeting fun people to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned a few things that you've obviously gained a lot from it, not just how to use the tools, not just what to do, but a lot of other things that have improved your conversations and how you feel about your work, which is great. Has it affected other areas of your life? Like sometimes people go, "Oh, my partner's told me I'm a much more positive person," or I don't know. Is there anything that's come up?
I think that let's see. Yeah, like earlier, it was funny when this came along when I don't think anything's an accident. I think that God times things for us and to receive them at the right time. And I know that looking back, this came along at the same time that I was really wrestling with over curating myself and a general fear of oh no, what if I say the wrong thing or what if I do the wrong thing? And
Yeah.
learning that there's a difference between you giving offense and someone taking offense. And there's a difference there, and having the freedom to
Yeah.
just having that freedom. So I think this was an important part of that, because I was already wrestling with that in personal places, but I didn't really have I didn't know how, or I didn't have help yet doing that in a business place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So having that kind of like those things all work in tandem with each other, I was like, oh, and so they all fed off of each other. Oh, I'm hearing things here that I'm hearing here and here. So I got this triangulation, which really helped me trust the process a little bit more.
Yeah.
You were sharing things on the what I would call the philosophical side, but I see philosophy as being the most practical thing.
Yeah.
There's nothing more practical than how you think. So it's important for if you're not thinking right, that you're like, then everything's going to be off.
Yeah.
So some of the things that you've shared that were the philosophy, and then maybe they were putting more of like a business owner or somebody who the coach who's coaching business. I never would have listened to that, ever would have listened to that. But it was saying similar things that I was hearing in other places. And even though other places might not agree on every point, the crux was still pushing in the same direction, which I thought was really interesting. Oh, that's this person saying the same thing as this person. They probably don't agree on everything, but they agree on this.
Yeah, that's it.
And it was really interesting to hear that they were seeing this truth coming from two different directions. So yeah, in that way, I think as a sort of almost as a triangulation, it went really deep into what was going on
Oh,
personally.
oh,
Yeah,
good. Yeah,
yeah,
good. Because it is a big mindset journey for a lot of people as well. And yeah, I always say to people, if you're not prepared to work on yourself, it's very hard. And it's very hard to grow a business if you're not prepared to work on yourself at the same time. So yeah, that's part of the criteria. We only,
yeah,
we only let people in if they've got the right attitude and they're open to learning about their mind as well, because it has a massive effect on the results. It's amazing how, when you've got when your mind is on the right path, you're feeling good about what you're doing, you're really owning your worth and your value, and you're thinking about everything the right way, and then you take the right action, it's oh my goodness.
yeah.
It's like fireworks, which is really exciting. And yeah, it's a really exciting journey for everyone.
Yeah, there were a few things that you asked us to do, and I was like, I'm going to do it because she asked, but it's not going to help. And I did it, and I was like, okay, wow, that helped. Like,
Yeah, it's funny.
and I just surrendered. It took me a while though. Once I surrendered to it, it was like you're here because you need help, and if you don't do if you don't take that help, then you're not gonna get it. It's not gonna work. And it was simple stuff. It was simple.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything difficult. It was just there was just a reluctancy. It was like, but I know how to cook an omelet. I know you know how to cook an omelet, but you asked me how to help you cook an omelet a different way, and that's what I'm doing. It's okay, fine. I'll cook an omelet a different way. And you're like, oh wow, that really worked. Why was that so hard to let go?
Oh, don't worry, you're not the only one.
Yes,
There's always
yes,
resistance, and yeah, I meet people every day that have got a resistance against what they need to be doing to be at the next level, where they really want to be. And there's so much resistance that comes up, but it's my job, part of my job is to recognize those things and to try and find a gentle way of telling them and helping them get through that. But yeah, for some people, it's like they've got a real block there about something. And yeah, it's helping them see it from a new way. New perspectives help a lot. Stories help a lot. Metaphors help a lot so
yeah.
that people can really start to understand why they need to change, why they need to see something in a better way, or do something in a different way, or think about something in a new way. Yeah, it makes a massive difference. Yeah, it's
That's tough. That's a tough thing because you celebrate wins, obviously, and even if it's not a win, you celebrate just whatever that is. That's okay. But at the same time, to be able to push and not rest in that moment. Not, it's okay to rest in that moment. It's not what I mean, but okay, yes, that's wonderful. Now keep going, keep going. That's a difficult role as a coach to play, to strike that balance, because we all want to go, I did good, didn't I? And it's easy to be like, you did good. Oh, okay, I can stop. It's like, keep going. Just, you don't have to take giant steps. Just take a little step, but keep
yeah,
going.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like saying, yeah, you did great on this bit. Now we need to work on this bit. It's
Yeah.
like next challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. But it's all, yeah, like learning is never one straight line, is it? It's always like up and down but you've got to recognize that and not be too hard on yourself when you're learning anything new. And that's
Yeah.
something that comes up all the time with people. You've got to realize that you're not going to get there like overnight. Some people obviously get there quicker than others, which is great. And they've
Yeah.
obviously done a lot of work on themselves as well to help them get there that quickly. Yeah, it's all about just wherever people are on their journey and just guiding them at their speed and the level they want to be guided at. So yeah, but obviously very excited for you and your progress so far. So do you want to talk more about the things you feel like you've achieved so far? What are the main things you've achieved since we met? And it's obviously over 6 months ago now. Yeah.
I think the biggest thing I feel achieved is that I've learned how to dig deeper into existing clients because a lot of our clients, they have a lot of depth to them.
Mm.
And meaning that they're not, I mean, I've used the analogy that we prefer to be a fox in the hen house rather than just a fox chasing one chicken. And I think that's probably every business would want that. You want to
Yeah.
be able to be able to have that kind of depth of a hen house. So you're like, there was a reluctancy there, I think. And now I think that because of the way this made me think, it took away some of the, like you're just kind of, hey, I'm here. And not that you're not that you're stealing and just eating chickens, but you're like you're clearly a fox and you're clearly here because I don't know, you mean how I don't know how this analogy is now breaking down, but it's like there was like this like pretending I wasn't selling myself and it felt very disingenuine
Okay.
because I knew that I was and they knew that I was, and yet you're still being relational and
Yeah.
everything. And this really like that really dissolved that weirdness for me.
Yeah.
And just
Good.
to be like, no, I'm here for business. This is quid pro quo.
Yeah.
That's, but I'm also listening to you and I am genuinely interested and as a person to help. And so I think that bringing out that genuineness and putting it and framing it into this frames well within the business. So they don't have to be opposed to each other. They can work together.
Definitely.
That's
Yeah.
probably the biggest thing because I've struggled with that ever since I started.
Yeah.
Like I really like this person and I really want to help them, but at the same time, I'm like making money off of them and I don't know how do I make that work?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah. And just even just starting conversations in the right way or yeah, when you're on a call with someone, doing it without just hard selling at somebody. Obviously you don't want to do that. So yeah, it's just about being your authentic self and but understanding what works as well in the background. Once you understand what works really well, you can still be your authentic self and still have a nice conversation with someone and still enjoy that interaction, whether it's in a DM or whether it's on a Zoom call, but it's
Yeah.
doing it in a more effective way and but you're still being authentic, you're still genuinely caring about who you're talking to. Yeah, it works
Yeah,
really
for
well.
some reason I thought you couldn't do both. If you would have asked me, I would have said, of course you can do both at the same time. But then my behavior, I always felt like there's that one thing where you say, gosh, I know I need to do this. And you start believing that you are doing it, but you're really not doing it. And the revelation of that is always startling. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
not really doing the thing you think that you're doing. And you don't realize how much it weighs on you until somebody can be like, boop, and show you, and you're like, okay, yeah, I see that weight now, and I want that gone. So how do I do that? And you're like, you have to do this it's a little hard. You're going to be a little hard, but you're going to have to do this thing. And that coaching through that really helped a lot. How do I do this? What
Mm,
does that look like? And
yeah.
am I just being able to say, am I doing it? Am I doing it? Is this doing it? And I think a lot of times your response was, right here, you're doing it. Right here, you're not really doing it, but let me help you do that here.
Yeah,
And
that's it.
that's really helpful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. It's just awareness, isn't it? And just realizing what good habits look like in that kind of in that routine and learning that new routine. It's a very different day for people that aren't used to just sacrificing time for the business. A lot of people are so in the business that they don't think like that. So yeah, it's a big jump for some people that have never thought like that before and gone, no, come on, we've got to spend time doing this first and then we can get on with the fun stuff. Although once people get going, they actually enjoy all of it anyway. They enjoy the interaction and they enjoy the content and they enjoy doing all that as well. But initially they think, oh no, that's not the fun bit. Doing the
Well,
work.
yeah, that's funny
Yeah.
because of doing this. And I recently realized that like one of the challenges I'm struggling with now is to put play before like work, but
Mm.
or play before profit. But it's interesting because play is profit. The most profitable thing is play. That's
Yeah.
actually the most profitable thing. And I think that I avoid it because it's like you have to get in that play state of mind that is very different from the to-do list state of mind, which
Mm.
can be pretty legalistic, but
Yeah.
you can feel good about yourself. Oh, look, I deleted all these emails and I did all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, that or these things feel profitable, but this part, when that was the thing that I struggled with, was like, yeah, but I have deadlines I have to get done. I'll do this later. I'll do this LinkedIn stuff later because I have deadlines and this is how I'm making money. It's actually the LinkedIn is how you're making money. If that's what you're concerned about, which we all are in business,
Yeah.
this is really the answer to you making money. And you're putting the thing that, so you're saying that you really want to put the most important thing, the most urgent thing, the most profitable thing first, then you would put the LinkedIn first
Yeah.
or the process first.
Yeah.
And I would say that taught me how to do that creatively as well,
Mm.
is to say the creative playing that seems silly, that actually ends up being a lot more profitable because I learned this from doing this. It's like it gave me something to talk about
Mm.
because like there, if I'm working on a project, sometimes I can't talk about it just for people. You don't want to over talk something you're working into because then obviously some of it's an NDA and some of it's just we don't talk about it till after it's over.
Yeah.
But then by the time it's over, you've forgotten, you're out of the heat of doing it, so you're not as interested in it creatively as you were because you're on to something else. But just working and playing, whether that's just doing a drawing or doing writing something or just trying something in AI or whatever it is oh, this is really cool. Oh, you know what? I can share this. This has relevancy to share as well, which has that's just one example of it, of where I've noticed that. Similar working with you was like you could just continue to stay on the wheel and just spinning your to-do list forever. And you can just justify everything with that wheel. But
Yeah.
being able to break out of that and saying, okay, I'm going to put this thing that doesn't feel priority,
Mm.
I'm going to put it first. That feels bad. That feels weird. But doing it and building that muscle of understanding what that feels like and the world's not going to collapse. And actually, this is even better. That was a huge gain for me.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. Cool. And is there anything like, I don't know, what advice would you give other people that are thinking of getting some help with their business? Would you, yeah, and we're sort of maybe where you were at the beginning. What advice would you give them?
You just get in the car and drive. You just got to get in the car and drive. If you make a wrong turn, it's better than just sitting still in
Mm.
park. It's just not the risk to benefit. You just get so much more benefit than you do. It feels like a lot of risk, but it's really not. It's just get in the car, put the car in drive, and go. And then you can turn around. You can make another turn. That's fine.
Yeah.
And you gotta start moving.
Great. And would you recommend the program to people like, how do you feel about our work together so far?
Oh, I absolutely. Yes, I recommend it to for many reasons. Yes, absolutely. I think it's gosh, I think in some ways I'm still processing as well. So I'm oh wow, that's like now just now hitting me. That's just now hitting me. So like my recommendation right now, it will probably change even as I can look back and cook on things and go, oh wow, that really helped me with this. So
Mm.
specifically recommending it, like what I've said before about whether that's putting changing your priorities in the training in that, or whether it's finding the freedom of not over curating yourself or finding that fear of being disingenuine, like all of those things are really big. And no one's really addressed, I don't know anyone who's addressing that. I'm sure there are, I don't really delve into the like the business world books and stuff of people talking about it. But
Mm.
as a creative, I just don't spend time in that place. So for
Yeah.
someone to come and say, hey, I'm speaking to you creatives about these particular, this, some of these are the problems. That's extremely helpful because I'm not out looking for that and didn't even know. I could just say that something was wrong, but I didn't know what it was. And after doing this for 20 some odd years, I'm like, I don't know how to fix this and I don't know even what is it. And so to have someone pinpoint these things that are just like I said, like logical fallacies that were like these are common problems that we share, and I can help you address these things. To me, it's if somebody told me that, I would be really curious and interested, be like, okay, I'm not going to admit that I have problems, but I do. So this sounds great.
Yeah, that's it. I
Because
think
I don't know what they are.
that's half the battle, isn't it? Like just realizing that actually there are things, yeah, if it was an ideal world and you could have anything you wanted, you're like, okay, so I'm where I'm now is not quite there. So there's something missing. I'm not quite sure what it is. But if you can be open-minded to learning, that's half of it, isn't it? You've really got to be ready to learn and keep learning to grow your business.
Yeah, no, that's so
Yeah.
true because you're like, is it me? Is it them? Is it
Mm,
this? And you're like, it's a mix. But the important thing is that, like in any situation, it's like it's a little bit of everything, but you have to be able to say, yeah, here's what you're doing where you can get on track, and here's typically where other people you're speaking to can get you off track or can, you have to be able to pinpoint it and name it without making, you know, it's not a good guy, bad guy thing. It's just a behavioral like recognition. That's that category. And you'll be able to see it from now on and you'll know how to steer around it
yeah.
and or steer through it or whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. So do you feel like really much more confident now that you know what to do each day to get clients, like get into the right habits and yeah, do you feel like you're on a roll now? How do you feel?
Yeah, I do. I feel like it's still it will probably always be a struggle not to keep the things that I know that are essential as priority. It's
Mm,
so easy to cave into the urgent
yeah.
and to push away the essential. So like I could use you in my head every day, like just being like, don't giving me the coaching to be like, don't forget that's essential.
But you feel like you're in better habits than you were before and starting to
Oh
get
yeah.
more momentum. Brilliant. Yeah,
Yeah,
amazing.
I do. I feel like honestly, Helen, I feel like I'm like a freshman and I want to graduate. I feel about a freshman. That's what I feel
Yeah,
like.
yeah. What goals have you got next? Have you got any plans or goals you want to hit next? What's the next things you want to achieve?
My goal is to really see what happens when you do recognize that playing is profitable and that you keep that essential. And play can be sharing. Play like turning LinkedIn, turning sharing on LinkedIn into play makes it to be like, oh, I want to do that today. Like
Mm,
that's the most essential thing and it's fun to do. Like
yeah,
I want to do that. And I think especially as a creative, like I think after being in business, because we're like Jekyll and Hyde, like business and creative. So there's still this real strong drive in me that feeds my soul to want to create things. And I enjoy the business side. The business side can take over and just overshadow everything. So
mm,
my goal is to not cave in so much. My job could be, which is just deleting emails, quite frankly, on a bad day. And to put this forward and put this up front and keep this up front and get so much into a habit with that that you have to that it becomes more automatic for me to do.
yeah.
Like what happens when you do that? What happens when you work that muscle and you allow that feeling of recklessness of putting the essential over the urgent? Like
Mm.
what happens to the business? Like that's really exciting,
Very
right?
exciting. Absolutely. Yeah, very
Yeah,
exciting. Yeah.
because you are like you were really good at what do you want? What do you want? And that's one of those simple questions where you're like, what do I think you want me to say to you? Or what do I think I want to hear myself say? Or what do I really want?
Yeah.
And that's a difficult question to wrestle with. And
Yeah.
I think some of the exercises that I did reluctantly woke that up in me to say, oh, I didn't really know that's what I wanted. And I
Mm.
think some of that's scary because I think you want things that you don't want, and somehow that feels protective. And then when you start like extrapolating what it is that you really, what's your dream, it's, oh, I don't know what to do about that. I don't know. Like that's exciting, but it's scary too,
Yeah.
you
That's,
know?
a lot of people don't let themselves dream, do they? A lot of people just go, "Oh, that's out of bounds." It's really why? Why is it out of bounds? Oh, come on. Let's go
Right.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah. This is your life. You only have so many, as I was saying yesterday, you only have so many cups of tea. There are only a finite number of tea. I don't know what number I'm on right now, but I only get so many. So make the tea really good and
Yeah.
enjoy it. And it's like that. It's a why not do that?
Yeah.
It's very helpful because I think it feels unsafe. I think it's really important for us as human beings to carry around this illusion of safety. And you realize when it's an illusion, you think, wow, when you really push that off of you, you're like, oh, I'm free.
Mm,
to
yeah.
do to go after this thing and to fail and to succeed. And that's exciting.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. And you've proven that massively because you work with amazing companies, so you should be really proud of yourself with everything you've done. Yeah.
yeah, we were really grateful. We were really grateful. I told somebody the other day, I met a young artist and I said, I'm a failed cartoonist and I'm a successful graphic designer. And she goes, oh, I like that. That's
Not
but I
at
like
all.
being a failed
I think
cartoonist.
it's
The
not.
only reason I'm a failed cartoonist is because I never went solely after that because I knew I could see the path on commercial design and graphic design. And I saw the path of cartooning and I was like, that looks risky. I'm going to go with this, which I don't regret. I don't regret.
Yeah, but you've still
So,
done some amazing animations and
yeah.
cartoons, haven't you?
Yeah, no, we do. We absolutely do. It's just I'll explain that a little bit more. When I was 16, I went and studied for a day with a photojournalist from the state newspaper in Columbia, South Carolina. And it was a great day. It was just a great day. It was just so cool. He was a cool dude. His car was all messy. We were driving around listening to the Rolling Stones. He was smoking cigarettes. And I was 16. I was like, man, this is so badass. And I got done with that day. And I said, I know now I don't want to be a photojournalist. But I
Mm,
had a great day. But I
yeah,
knew by being exposed to that, and I loved every bit of it. It's just I just didn't have the hunger in me to do that. And but
yeah.
what I did do when I was in their offices was I looked over at where the cartoonist was and I was like, man, I'd like to do that. That's
Mm,
I can't do that. And that was the moment where I remember that because I think back on it thinking because it was a long shot and I knew it
yeah,
was a long shot. And I've never been comfortable and I don't regret it at all because I knew I wanted a family and I wanted to make money and I wanted to see that path very clearly. And
yeah,
commercial design is a very clear path. I'd had that path shown to me. My dad was a creative director and my mom was an interior designer. So I knew what the path looked like.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I was like, I can support a family doing this particular thing. So I don't regret being a failed cartoonist. In fact, I like it because I'm like, oh, this is like a place that I still have in my life that I can pursue.
Yeah, that's
You
it.
know?
And there's
Right.
always another project where you could go and get that work if you wanted to. You could go and get more of that if you wanted to. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for sharing your story and sharing everything. That's, yeah, how you got on. And yeah, I'm very proud of you. You've come a long way and obviously happy to help you more. If you need any more help in the future, please let us know. But I think you've
Well,
done amazingly well. So well done.
thank you. Thank you. Thanks for all your help and like in so many ways that like I said, like I'm still processing and digesting.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely fantastic working with you.